Ah! Hi! Hey guys! That was weird. I was pieced into chunks. I mean, it's been happening before, but still. And we're back to one of these again. This episode of Randy Retro's Reviews is brought to you by WhiteCupENT.com. They fucks with us. Yes, the link should be down below. I'll be sure to add that in. But they asked me specifically to do this review. So today we're going to take a look at Event Horizon. Watch this.
What it does is it creates a dimensional gateway that allows it to jump instantaneously from one point of the universe to another light years away.
Where's she been for the last 7 years, Doctor?
That's what we're here to find out.
After 7 years in deep space.
There were 18 people on board this ship when it disappeared. I want them all accounted for.
Opening outer door.
It came back, abandoned.
Any crew? Negative. This place is a tomb.
I think I know why they asked me to do this, because while we were doing the Jason series, I was approached and asked, what do you think, how would you rewrite Jason X? And I was like, oh, what they should do is just have a ship that's like, so they find a way to like use some of the Crystal Lake mineralogy, some bullshit. There's some radioactive material, and it makes a ship that allows them to go through space-time. And it passes through space-time. And somehow it collects Jason and starts murdering these people. Wouldn't be the first time this has happened to me. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tally so I can tell you all about this.
That body count. That body count.
On our body count, I have 5. It went to 6, came back down to 5. So yeah, there is a lot of gore and suggestive imagery and grossness, but only 5. Very, very respectable. I've noticed that with the nightmare type movies, they're not good about the large body counts. They're more about the smaller spectacle of things. Okay. That being said, let's get down to everyone's favorite subject, the nudity. Let's get skin deep.
Titties, right now, right now.
I have one pair of ghost titties. Usually how it goes. I mean, in every kind of like ghost story, kind of horror movie, there's usually like some kind of ghost titties. Usually. I don't know how I feel about it, but whatever. So let's find out who gets our coveted Joe Grizzly Award.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to Captain Miller because I love Lawrence Fishburne and pretty much everything he's done, and this was no exception. And as a total badass, I mean, I feel like I'm cheating here because he's kind of a main character. He's kind of the big bad of the whole thing. Like he's the boss man. He's got the big gun. He does the big things. He finds out all the story and like he does a lot. So that brings us to our final verdict. All right. So now that I've gotten through all that, here's major spoilers. Spoiler edition all at once, guys. Here we go. Okay, so it's a nightmare ship, right? Okay, and the problem I have with Jason X is like, you bring me to this technologically advanced civilization and you spend most of the time doing something you could have done in the woods. A very short and simple Jason follows the bad guy kind of thing. But this movie does what I would hope that something that brings all the technology but wants to scare the shit out of people, and it does it both ways. It takes you, because there are more things in heaven and earth than dreamt of in your philosophy, basically. the amount of bullshit that you could come up with just the idea of quantum and space travel, or like time and dilation, and like we're gonna make a ship that creates a black hole and travels through pinpoint locations on like time travel. That's fine, sure. Even though we have a ship that I calculated already runs 33% of light speed, let's go ahead and just like make a ship that does 100%. Why not? Sure. And we're gonna fold space-time to do that. Totally where it makes sense to me. I mean, that's how Neil and I would have figured it out. The problem is, we don't know what's on the other side of the veil. Really, we don't, because our universe is, in comparison to everything that we know, really is very small. It's like, guys, if you've never been outside of your city, you will not realize how much wonder that is in the world. And consider this, that's a lot. Now also consider that Pluto, Neptune, in our same galaxy, in our same solar system, 2.7835 billion miles away. Billion with a B. Have you ever been outside of your state? That's only 100 or some odd miles outside. Imagine, it's infinite space out there, and there's so much to do. And the fact that you decided to just travel beyond the universe itself, of course you're gonna bring something back. It's like, if we've learned nothing from Buckaroo Banzai and the Dark Metal series, is that you don't fuck with the opposite side of the universe. Because just like the dark side of the moon, we don't know what's back there. And it's like, if you guys had not read Dark Metal by DC, that's basically what it is. It's like, it takes the one fundamental rule that DC has always held true. Batman always wins, right? But the problem is, they take this same rule and flip it on its head. What happens if Batman always wins, but he isn't always good? Then he becomes the world's worst villain. And it's like, he not only becomes the world's worst villain on, like, in this universe, but in every dark universe that exists on this plane. Because this is a dark universe. And on the opposite side, there's the original Batman, who will always fight for truth and justice and trying to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone. But the problem is, sometimes that dark side comes through the veil of the multiverse. And that's what this story is about. The bad shit that comes through the veil of the universe. Before I get too long with it, I'm going to go ahead and give this 2 knee pads. If you can't tell already. I'm excited. I liked it. It had just enough science for me to follow along, and it had just enough fucking bullshit for me to be like, oh my, what? And it had just enough scary shit that I was still vastly interested in what happened to the characters that, okay, I'm in, bro. I am in. Why have I slept on these movies? What is going on? It is intense, to say the least. It is intense. And, oh man, there was so much they could have done. I wanted them to turn on the machine from like jump. Like, they're like, we're stranded here. Well, turn the machine on. It's supposed to travel through space-time. It could probably take you home in less than an hour. It doesn't have to go very long. But in my brain, I was just like, there's a reason why they won't turn the machine on, because they don't want to turn the machine on because they don't know what happened. And it's like, it's broken for one thing, and it might just send them to the dark universe and be stuck there forever. And like, yeah, that's what ends up happening. It's like, no, I gotta turn the machine on so we can get stuck there forever. And then like, I don't want to go to hell. And it's like, hell is just a word. The reality is so much worse. Such is the way of 2020. But again, thank you so much to White Cup for this. This has been a journey and a treat. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Everyone is top notch. We have fucking one of the grandkids from Doctor Who's in this movie. Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie. Sam Neill from The Omen is in this movie. Goddamn, you know, and like Jason Isaac, fucking Harry Potter. It has a lot of fandom in this movie that like, what? And there's some other characters I didn't know who were in, or I know I've seen them somewhere. They're character actors, but still, I was like, what? My only disappointment is the fact that Stark, the female Stark, wasn't like some kind of like nod and a Marvel thing where she was so smart that she figured it out on her own. She kind of just like, she literally was disappearing from half the movie. I'm like, where did it start and go? But beyond that, I was like, yeah, I'm in, bro. I watched this thing. I literally just finished this movie like 4 minutes ago. And it's just like, oh, I gotta do this right now. Because, oh, it's so good. All right. Thank you so much. Hey, White Cup, you know, they sponsor us. So I was like, yeah, of course I'll do whatever you say. But if you have any, if you go through the catalog of Cult 45 and like, I want to hear what Randy has to say about this movie that they did a while back, like, say the Power Rangers movies on my list, Santa Sleigh. A bunch of these movies I haven't, well, I have seen Power Rangers, but a bunch of these movies I haven't done a review for, but I am glad to do that for you guys if you guys want. If not, you want me to shut up, let me know. Catch you guys later.